Get multiplying polynomials, and we'll start with multiplying monomials. And when you're multiplying monomials, you multiply your numbers together. Oops. And you also multiply your variables using the product rule. So remember, if you have x squared times x cubed, you add. If you have a power raised to a power, you multiply. So let's go ahead and do this. 4xy cubed times negative 2x squared y. We're going to multiply the numbers first. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. I'm going to multiply x times x squared. So remember, when we're multiplying, we add our exponents. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And then y cubed times y, 3 plus 1 is 4. And that's it. In this one, it's negative 2p squared q raised to the second power. So I am basically multiplying this by itself. We're going to use the power rule. And remember, that means raise everything to the second power. So negative 2 squared, and then we multiply 2 times 2 and get 4. And this would be q squared. Now just simplify negative 2 squared as a 4. And that's it. So that's similar to some things we did at the very beginning. Now when you're multiplying a monomial, so one term by a polynomial, basically what you need to do is distribute that monomial through your parentheses. So everything in the parentheses needs to be multiplied by 3a. So I'll start with 3a times 10a squared. So that's 30. A times a squared is a cubed. 3a times negative 4 is negative 12a. Let's do the same thing here. I'm going to distribute the negative 3m squared n cubed to all three terms in the parentheses. So let's multiply the first. Just multiply the numbers first. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. M squared times m to the fourth. Add 2 plus 4 and get 6. And then n cubed. Now let's go to the second term. Negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. M squared times m is m cubed. Whoops. It's cubed. N cubed times n is n to the fourth. And then the last, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. M squared times m to the fourth is m to the sixth. N cubed times n cubed, add 3 plus 3 and get 6. Okay, in this last example, we're going to have to distribute twice. I need to distribute the 3y cubed through my first set of parentheses, and then on the second set, I need to distribute the negative y squared through my parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Distribute the 3y cubed, and I get 3y to the fourth minus 6y, 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 15y cubed. Now I'm going to distribute a negative y squared, and I get a negative 3y cubed and a positive 2y to the fifth, because the negative times negative is positive, and last, negative y squared times 7 is a negative 7y squared. Okay, now I'm going to write this in descending order, and I have to combine any like terms. So let's start with the largest exponent, and that's y to the fifth, and I have a negative 6y to the fifth and a positive 2y to the fifth, and those would combine to be a negative 4y to the fifth. Then bring down the 3y to the fourth. Then 15y cubed minus 3y cubed is a positive 12y cubed. So those are combined, and then bring down the negative 7y squared.